Hey folks, Carl Kishel here, and welcome to this edition of the Microsoft Cloud News Update, researching the cloud blogs so you don't have to. This week, we'll be talking about Microsoft Viva, some changes to Exchange Online Basic Auth, Teams guest access changes, Azure Dangling DNS protection, Azure Resource Manager changes, and much more. So we have a lot to cover. Let's jump right into it. So what is Microsoft Viva? So Viva is a collection of, right now, 4 different solutions that are available. These are Microsoft Teams-based apps that combine multiple aspects of the Microsoft ecosystem and platform to give you a complete solution across these 4 particular areas. And these areas or solutions are called Viva Topics, Viva Connections, Viva Learning, and Viva Insights. So right now, Viva Topics is the only solution that's available today for purchase. Connections is currently in preview, and Learning and Insights have been pre-released, and there's some information out there, but the public preview is not yet available. So let's do a bit of a deep dive into Viva Topics. So clicking on the Viva Topics link brings you to this page, and there's some good information here on the overall solution. The idea behind topics is to collect different data elements across your organization, turn that data into information and then into knowledge. And the idea behind that is behind these 3 different steps. So first is the identification of data. So turning the content into knowledge. So using AI and the AI engines that are based and built into the Microsoft 365 platform to collect and identify topics of interest for particular users. Once that data has been identified, the next phase is to the curation of that data. So organizing the knowledge and the information that the engine, the topics engine, has collected, organizing it into topics and serving those topics up to the end user, again, all based on AI and interest within the platform. And then finally, making that information discoverable. And this could be information discoverable through other Microsoft 365 apps, such as Outlook, Exchange Online, Teams, Yammer, SharePoint, etc. So for more information regarding topics and the other solutions within Viva, click on the link in the description. Some important updates regarding guest access and the default settings in Microsoft Teams starting this month, February 2021. So right now, guest access will be enabled by default for all new tenants beginning this month, February 8th, 2021. So if you're establishing a new Teams tenant, guest access will be turned on. And this is all for the sake of greater collaboration and making sure folks can collaborate both internally and externally. Beyond that, some other important things to note is that until February 2021, guest access is turned off by default. So this would be for existing tenants. However, after February 2021, guest access will be turned on in Microsoft Teams automatically. So that default will be to enable guest access for all new customers, so new tenants, as I previously mentioned, but also existing customers who have not configured this setting. So if you haven't gone into the admin settings within Microsoft Teams and configured guest access, that will be a no-touch situation. And in that particular scenario, guest access will be turned on by default. So double check your settings, make sure your settings are what they should be, and you should be in good shape. Definitely click on the link in the description for more info regarding Teams access and guest access in these default settings. There are a couple updates regarding the Microsoft 365 roadmap. So I found two particular items here that might be of interest. So the first one here is regarding Microsoft Defender for Office 365 and potential nation state activity alerts. So if you're not familiar with nation state activities, these are activities that could be either nefarious or harmless, more from they could be a probing nature, from countries outside of your own home country that are poking around your particular tenant. And again, either looking for opportunities to create nefarious acts or be bad actors, or just checking things out. So these particular actions have a specific pattern. That pattern will be built into the Microsoft Defender security suite for your Office 365, Microsoft 365 environment. And that should be released by the end of this month. So it's currently in development, but be on the lookout for this very important update to enhance your security posture regarding Office 365. Our next roadmap update is regarding Microsoft Teams and the ability to brand the lobby experience. So this is currently in development and slated for release at the end of March, so about a month away at this point. And this will be the ability to create a custom lobby experience for your end users using your company logo, graphic, etc. So just something to enhance the end user experience regarding Microsoft Teams. Some changes to the basic authentication announcement that was previously announced regarding Exchange Online. So we have this update from the product group as of this month, February 2021, where there was a previous announcement that Basic Auth will be disabled sometime in the second half of 2021. Due to the pandemic and priorities and work patterns, this has been changed. So there are a couple of changes here. So change number one is that until further notice, Microsoft will not be disabling Basic Auth for any protocols that your tenant is currently using. So if you're using MAPI, RPC, etc., any of the Basic Auth protocols, they are in use in your tenant, they will not be automatically deprecated or turned off. Please understand the security risks and implications of continuing to have those turned on, but they will not be turned off as previously announced. However, Microsoft will continue with the plan to disable Basic Auth for protocols that your tenant is not using. So if you're not using any of the Basic Auth protocols, the system will continue to move forward and disable those sometime between now and the next few months per this post. The admin to the tenant will get a 30-day notice prior to this happening. So for more information, check out the link in the description. We have a couple updates regarding Azure and the Azure Resource Manager, or ARM, and Azure Service Manager. So some name changes here, such as the ASM-based deployment model for cloud services will be renamed Cloud Services Classic. And this will give you the ability to migrate some of the ASM and ARM templates into these new capabilities. Another new facility that will be coming online is something called Cloud Services Extended Support. And actually that is the path for migration from ASM to ARM. So these are kind of scripting and cookbook type of applications that allow you to configure playbooks, runbooks, etc. for deploying Azure-based resources. And there's some enhancements to Cloud Services Extended Support that include RBAC, tags, policy, additional templates, etc. So definitely check out the link for more information on this change. And last but not least, some Azure Security Center updates and general availability updates regarding ASC that were posted last month. And definitely check out the link for more info on. There are a couple here to go through, but one that I found most useful is regarding Dangling DNS protection. So clicking on the link, let's do a quick look into this and what Dangling DNS protection is and the implications here. So Dangling DNS is all about where you have a DNS record, such as a CNAME record, pointing to a subdomain or a resource or a website that's no longer up or provisioned. So it could be the case where you deprovisioned a website that a CNAME record was pointing to, or another DNS record. That website's gone, maybe the subdomain's gone, and but that record in DNS is still there. What a bad actor can try to do is do a subdomain takeover and infiltrate those DNS records and have them point to another domain somewhere else, thereby hijacking your brand, your organization, and the subdomain. So this particular facility within Azure, called Azure Defender for App Service, looks at these types of issues and provides you with alerts and information. So that's something that's generally available now within the Azure platform, and definitely click on the link for more info. That concludes this edition of the Microsoft Cloud News Update. Please like, subscribe, share. If you have any feedback regarding these updates or there's something you'd like to see, please share your feedback with me on either Twitter or LinkedIn. Be found on those two platforms. Again, thank you for your time this week. Definitely appreciate it, and we will catch you next time. Take care.